Unshelling Medicine Podcast. Healthcare in the language we understand.
Hello, welcome to another episode of our podcast. So today I have Miss Naomi Mamiye. Naomi is an interior designer. However, she's also a hospital interior designer. But today we are going to talk about her life story. It's going to be a story of resilience, a story of not giving up, a story of believing in yourself and believing that success will come to you. Your success will come to you. So, Naomi, welcome. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm very grateful for you making time to be here. So, the story of resilience. When people hear resilience, it almost feels like it's a far-fetched, intangible thing to have. You know, how did you arrive at your story and what made you resilient?
Right. So my life story is my resilience came at default. When I was 10 years old, my mother had a mole on her back, but she did not see it because it was on her back. So as it was growing bigger and bigger, she had no idea. And by the time she noticed it, her cancer already spread throughout her body.
Wow.
So she died 2 years later from melanoma, and I was 12. It was the day before my 12th birthday. And from there, a year later, my father got remarried, and my stepmother didn't want me. So I went to live with my grandparents, and then one of them got sick with cancer. So then I switched to the other set of grandparents, and then one of them got sick with cancer, and then it was back and forth. And I ended up getting married young at 19 out of desperation because I needed a home. And I found myself 7 years later divorced with 4 little kids and nobody to help me financially, nobody to fall back on. So during my marriage, I used to have this, like, the whole neighborhood they used to have like get-togethers and all the mothers. And when they used to come to my house, everyone used to take like pictures all the time. And everyone used to tell me, why don't you do this professionally? And I said, I have little kids. I need to take care of them. Professional, not for me. I want to be a stay-at-home mommy and concentrate on my family. So when I found myself in the position of being divorced and nobody to help me, I remembered that everyone was pushing me all these years to go into design.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? You don't need money to advise people on design. So I would give it a try. And when I told this to my ex-husband, he started laughing at me. He said, nobody's going to pay you for your arts and crafts. Today, I'm one of the leading healthcare designers in the United States. I travel all over designing hospitals, medical centers, nursing homes, drug rehab centers, doctor's offices, dentist's offices. My specialty became healthcare. But even when I started out, even my best friend didn't believe in me. She was like also laughing. She was like, I actually, there was in the Jacob Javits Center in New York City, there was a design show.
Yeah.
And when I made this decision to become a designer, I took her along with me, and I was going up and down all the aisles, collecting pamphlets from everyone. And she looked at me, and I was carrying like heavy bags. And she was like, who do you think you're going to design for? You know? So the fact that my good friend was not encouraging and didn't believe in me made me, between her and my ex-husband, set me out on a mission, like I am going to prove them wrong. So I actually put a sign in my closet. Her name was Ricky. I actually put a sign in my closet. Every time I opened my closet, I said, show Ricky. So I like pushed myself, like, there's no way I'm not going to succeed. I'm just going to keep trying and trying and trying. And my trick was actually in the beginning, I did a lot of design work for free.
Okay.
So a lot of people, most people don't say no to free. So once I got my name out there, people saw my work, I could take it to the next step and start charging. So that's how it all kind of began.
Yeah. That is the point of not having somebody believe in you, to the point of belittling it and calling it arts and crafts, right? That is a point that I see most people give up, because there is this narrative that if the people around me don't believe in me, then they must be right. That maybe I'm just, in my delusional state. So,
Yeah, but the thing is to show them what you can do, to show them that you're smarter, you're better, put them to shame, make them feel stupid is the best revenge. So in the beginning, I had a lot of letdowns. I wanted a lot of projects that weren't given to me.
Yeah.
And now I look back at it and I say, wow, I wasted so many tears. I used to cry so much. Like when I didn't get a project, it used to hurt me, deeply. But, I evolved over time to have a positive mindset and say, like, it was not mine. It was not meant for me. The project was not meant for me. It was meant for somebody else. Maybe somebody else needed the money more. And then many times I found out in the beginning that not in the beginning. I found out afterwards that, God actually saved me, that the project was like a nightmare. The contractor was nasty, and it was actually like a blessing. And I was crying over this project. And at the end, it was like the best thing that happened to me, that it didn't come my way. So you never know. You have to believe that everything happens for a reason, and everything that's meant for you is going to come to you. There are times that I didn't get a project and then the designer dropped out and I was next place. So, it's just all timing. You just gotta take a deep breath and say, you know what, if it doesn't come, there's something better coming my way. There's a better fit. Always, like, also, I try to coach people that want to open up businesses. And I explain to them that if you get a door slammed in your face, that just means it wasn't the right fit for you. There's something else. You got to believe and you got to understand there's something. Keep going for those interviews, because the right fit is going to click. The right fit is going to happen. Don't let it get you down. Everything is like tailor made for your personality and where you're going to be appreciated. It's all just patience. It's all just patience and not giving up. Just, picking yourself up by the bootstraps and trying again, going for another interview and another interview and another interview, and don't get knocked down.
That's very important, because starting out, I don't know what it is about us humans. We sometimes don't give ourselves the grace to understand that there is a learning process. And we want to start at the very beginning and compare ourselves to people that have been doing this longer, or maybe establish relationships in a sense of the design arena or world. I would want to believe that there are certain names that pop up when there's a design idea put out there, your name being, one of them, because your work has been recognized, right? And people do know the caliber and quality that you put out. Why was it important for you to learn that lesson? And at what point did that lesson come? Did you have a mentor who kind of guided you to, what, Naomi, I think you're, being too hard on yourself right now, step back? Or was it like a reality that you came to on your own?
Yeah. So I came to realize that I was in a rut, like everything was going wrong.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I have to get out of this. And I heard a lot of changing your mindset, and positivity brings positive things into your life. And I always thought it's such nonsense. It was just like laughing at people that did it, And then I was at the point where I said, you know what? It doesn't hurt to try. Let's try this out. So, if you really want to make a change in your life, it's so easy nowadays. I just sat through days and days of inspirational talks on YouTube that just made me change the way I think, made me realize that no matter how many times I rewinded in my head, again, it's such a waste of time rewinding my past. Like, I should have said this to my mother. I should have said that to my father. Oh my, it's just waste of time because I can't change it.
Yeah.
So I kind of like put blinders on myself, like horse blinders, and just said to myself, I'm only going to focus forward, not backward. And slowly things really started to take a change in my life. And I was like, wow, this really works. Like, the law of attraction, like if you're just negative, you're just bringing more negativity into your life. So whatever is the few little things that are going right in your life, you have to be so grateful and thankful for them, and more just automatically like a magnet comes. And I did not believe that until I saw it for myself.
Yeah.
Then another thing, just I guess meant to be, that gave me also an extra push by chance. We're talking about many years ago. I saw there was only Facebook just started, and I saw somebody that I went to high school with on their page on Facebook, and I saw all the list of accomplishments that he had to his name. And I said, I have nothing. I have nothing. I'm so embarrassed how much he accomplished these years since high school. And I have nothing to show for it. I accomplished zero. So that all at the same time, all this, I said to myself, you know what? I want to be greater than him. I want to accomplish more than him. And, a person doesn't know how they can inspire someone else.
Yeah.
Meaning he has no idea. I have no contacts with him. He has no idea that he like jump-started me and woke me up and said, hey, he has no idea. So quietly, you don't know what kind of inspiration you are for anybody else. So, and it's an amazing thing, So your accomplishments can really wake someone else up.
To your credit, you were willing to be woken up as opposed to being envious. So it can do one of two things, right? If you really want a change in your life, which in your story, your resilience was like, okay, wait, I'm here. This is somebody that I do know, that I can say, okay, this person is on my level. Look how much they've accomplished compared to where I am. I have to do something, right? And
I can, not I have to. I
exactly,
can.
you can do something to change it, right? But then you pushed yourself to do it. I can, right? And you pushed yourself to do it, as opposed to, oh, why does he think he's better than me? How come he has all this accomplishment? No, you turned it into, wake up, Naomi. Let's do something, because I believe you can do something, even with doubts, because that's not easy to have people close to you doubt you and you still push through. So to your credit, you challenge yourself to do something as opposed to making it a jealous feedback or outlook. The kudos to you. How easy was that process for you, where you not internalized it, but you kind of did in a sense by saying, I can do something about it, as opposed to being envious? Was envy ever in the books for you?
I'm envious of nothing. This is going to be the real truth. I'm envious of nothing but the only thing, and nothing materialistic,
Yes.
because I know if I wanted it, I can have it too. There's no, so the only thing I actually really get jealous of is when I see how close my friends are with their mothers. That is one thing I see, like, there's nothing like a mother. And I see that with my children also. I have their backs all the time. And that's the only really thing in my life that I'm envious of, that the help and the support, girls get from their mothers. But this was my lot, and I'm making the best of it. I'm instead being the best I can for mother to my children, and giving them and doing everything for them that I feel like I missed out on.
Yeah.
But I guess when I saw his Facebook, it was a bit of envy. It was a bit of envy and embarrassment on my part. Envious at like I was just blown away at this long list of things that he did. So, and it also, anybody could find somebody from their high school that turned into a success and say, why not me? What I can, it's harder when you look at a celebrity and you say like, oh, look at their success. But if you see somebody from your hometown, from your neighborhood, from your high school, you could relate to them, and more than somebody so far out there, and you can say, hey, I can make something for myself too.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, it gets me very upset when people say like, oh, I don't have a rich grandfather to help me start a business. I would love to start a business of my own. I honestly feel that God put a talent into every single person, some kind of talent. Some of my friends know how to sew. Some know how to put on makeup. Some knows how to do hair. And some guys know how to do plumbing. Never go to school for it. They know how to do electrical work. Everybody has some kind of talent to them that they can monetize on.
Yeah.
Everybody. So even if you have the patience for kids after school, you could tutor kids for a few hours after school and make more than the actual teachers sit there all day doing. There's everybody, everybody has something. My daughter's doing hair and makeup now. She's very creative like her mother. So she had no patience to sit through college.
Yeah.
Everybody has something that they can come up with without having a big bank account and monetize on.
Right.
So just finding, figuring out what you're good at.
Yeah. So that's the other piece of this, because everybody is waiting for that perfect time, and everybody's waiting for that perfect influx or infusion of capital. You did mention that when you started, you were at a point where nobody was coming to save you, in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was you and your children, and the drive of wanting to be there and provide for your children. You looked around like, okay, this is something that I can start without having a lot of money. For somebody who's looking to be in that space, you mentioned the Javits Center. I absolutely love the Javits Center.
Mm-hmm.
If you can go to any of the events they hold there, it's such a treasure trove of experience. People are willing to talk to you and exchange information. So what can a person do who's looking to be in that creative space, right? But they're just not seeing it. One, they don't have the connection. Two, they feel like, okay, they have to have all this money to, put all this prototype together, or put these models together, or show what they can do. What were the steps that you took in that initial time that actually encouraged you to continue without having an infusion of, money for initial investment?
Right. So that's where the free part comes in. So my daughter, I told the same thing. I said, you want to get your name out there. You want people to know that you're good at makeup, you're good at hair. Do things for free. No, people are not going to pay somebody unknown. They're not going to pay you good money. They're going to be scared to hire you to do makeup for their wedding,
right,
if they don't see your work. So do some faces for free. Start show people what you can do. So put yourself out there. You want to be a hairdresser? Go do a couple of people's hair for free. And Instagram is free today. It's so easy to show people what you can do. Easy. And for men also, there is such a demand out there. You don't need a college education. There's such a demand out there for things that you could learn if you're handy to get a certificate in trade school after, a few months. And even if you have talent, they'll hire you. The people are so desperate for laborers that are good. I do design. People are desperate for plumbers. People are desperate for electricians. Nowadays, the plumbers and electricians that I work with live in mansions and they never went to college.
Yes.
They never went to college and they are so successful and they're making so much money just because they're good at tinkering. They're good at, you don't need college nowadays. I think it's the biggest waste of money. You don't need college today. If you got some talent and you got some drive, there's no reason you should take biology if you want to be an electrician. There's no reason you should take creative writing if you want to be a plumber. So there's no reason to say I can't open a business because I don't have the money. You do not need much money to connecting wires. It's such a open field. There's so much out there. There's constant construction and building and infrastructure. Everything is nonstop. Things are growing and even the old stuff is being updated.
Yeah.
So there's a constant demand, and there's such a demand that they're charging crazy high prices. So you can have that mansion and not go to one day of school.
Yeah. But when it comes to those skills, I feel like those trade skills are overlooked or not appreciated as vital as they are. There's no one home in the United States of America that doesn't need a plumber to come take a look at a pipe. If your husband is a plumber or an engineer, you don't have to worry about that. However, if you work in corporate someplace, you're going to need an electrician. You're going to need somebody to take a look at the boiler, right? You're going to need somebody to even put in your security systems, right? You're going to need somebody to do something. So
yeah.
You're going to need college is great. However, those skills
you don't need it. Not everybody has the patience to sit. So my son didn't either. And he loved working out and he ended up being a painter. So all day he's painting and he's getting the best workout and he's making money off of it.
Right.
Again, did he go to school for painting? No, he just, it's his personality that he's a perfectionist and he does a beautiful job. So it's not cut out for everybody. And if you're pushing yourself to go to college, when you have a specific career in mind, lawyer, doctor, things that you absolutely need college for. Otherwise, why waste your parents' money when you don't have a focused goal? People really, their parents work so hard to pay that college bill. And at the end, you end up being a store manager at Zara's and your parents paid so much money for you. It's just, I feel like if you're going to school, you have to go in with a focus and with a goal. Otherwise, I feel bad for the parents investing so much of savings and hard-earned money, and you don't even end up using it.
Yeah.
So
that's a very important point. And, it brings me to my next question. What is your take on the importance of apprenticeship, especially in, say, the high school years, so that a young person can figure out if college is absolutely what they need to look forward to, or is there anything else that interests them? Beauty, right?
I think it's a great thing.
Makeup, hair, painting, plumbing, being an electrician, whatever, even carpentry. Right. These are all skills that are important in the world today. So what is your take on creating programs
So
where
yeah,
people
I think it's brilliant. I think kids should be a little more brave, and some people don't even think about. I mean, a lot of people take businesses take interns, but a lot of them don't even think about it. They don't even realize that they can have somebody shadowing them, underling, learning, watching. They don't even realize that it wouldn't cost them anything to have a high school. So a high school kid, following them along, checking out what they do. So this is just a suggestion for people listening to, open up your doors to the, to the younger generation, open up their eyes to to different careers, welcome them into your office, so they see something new. I think it's fantastic. Me, myself, I'm very into giving back.
Yeah.
Me, myself, I have a free mentorship program. I take aspiring designers that are just beginning. They don't have confidence yet. I take them and I train them and I connect them to all the vendors and the contacts and the reps from the companies and the flooring. And I do like this crash training course for anybody that wants to go into design. And again, I did not go to school for this.
Yeah.
I did not go to school for this. And I think I do just as well and even better than some of the people that did go to school for it.
Yeah.
And I taught in 2 trade schools. The first thing I tell the girls was well, there's a lot of guys now doing this too. I say, I cannot teach you style. I cannot teach you creativity. It's either you got it or you don't. If you don't got it, this is just a total waste of time. This is a total, you can't teach somebody something that's not inside of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So either you're creative or you're not. If you're creative, you're in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, I could stand on my head. I could talk and there's nothing I can do for you here,
Right.
So you see some people with the way they dress, they have amazing style, everything's so well put together, and and there are other people that they walk around like they could care less, and they look like a disaster, like nothing flows. So you can tell right away who's got it, who doesn't.
So what is the criteria for your, say, mentorship program?
Nothing. You're interested. You're not sure. You want it. Nothing. People reach out to me. That is it. They heard my name. They heard that I offer this free crash course. I sit there with them. I let them shadow me. I explain everything. And then, is this for you? Do you feel you can do this? Let me see. And then I give them things and I say, hey, this is what I'm putting together. Let me see your idea for this office.
Right.
Let me see your idea for this space. Let me see what you can do. And I see right away, taking all my samples, I see right away if they're able to do it. And if yes, I hold their hand every step of the way and help them become legal businesses. There's no reason why, especially for women that want to have families, there's nothing like being your own boss. To go work for somebody else in Manhattan in an office in a design firm from 9 to 6 p.m. and have no freedom. It's very hard to raise a family that way. But if you have the courage to go out on your own, I was able to, my daughter has first grade play, or my son has kindergarten graduation. I'm able to juggle around my schedule. So there's nothing like being your own boss. There's nothing like it. Yeah. So I try to encourage everybody so they can juggle their family, that they don't have to go panic. Their child isn't feeling well, find somebody to go pick them up from school. You just move an appointment. Oh, things are, it's so easy. Just things are running late. Something came up. Can we do an hour later, 2 hours later, an hour earlier? It's just, there's nothing like it. So that's what I actually encourage everybody, even the people that are not going into design, to do.
Absolutely. So do you have people internationally who may express interest in being mentored by you?
Oh, I'd love that. I've had people come here from California and from Toronto. International, not yet, but they are absolutely welcome.
I love it. So, Naomi, we've talked about a lot of things. Let's talk about that first contract. Let's talk about that first, here, we trust you, we love your design, go for it. How was that?
Okay, very scary, the first one. And I actually tell this to my students. I was like, as scared as you are and unsure of yourself that you are, I said, fake it till you make it. That is so true. Fake it till you make it. I mean, I didn't go to school for this, so I didn't even know how to read a floor plan, a drawing. You know, I just like, I just totally made believe that I do. And then I came home and watched a YouTube video, Googled it, and how to read a floor plan. And then, oh, okay.
Makes sense.
So you just fake it and smile. If there's something you don't know, I tell my students also, if there's something you're not sure of, just smile, say, yeah, I'll look into it. I'll get back to you, and then call me. So it is scary. It's taking a leap of faith that, you know, going out on your own, but you're always not going to be sure of yourself. And you're also always going to have bad days where you slip and you fall and, you know, like that things go wrong. And, you know, I'm doing this now like 19 years and I still have in my cabinets, instead of my closet, like the old days, I still have inspirational quotes that, you know, that bring me back to reality. It's not like I never get thrown a curveball in life. I get plenty of them. It's just learning to adapt to the new situation and focusing forward on the positive and not letting myself fall. I fall down, picking myself right back up. But I still, till today, it's 19 years later, and I still will have in a bunch of different places, little inspirational quotes to remind myself, hey, get on the right track. So it's a constant battle because life is full of unexpected things happening nonstop. Again, pull myself back up, pull myself back up. That's the name of the game.
Love it. So one of my favorite quotes is the best revenge is success. And how was that experience and feeling when you knew you not only proved to yourself that you could do it, but also, you know, the naysayers, your ex-husband and your best friend. How was that feeling? How was going through that process?
It's amazing that I make more money than both of them. It's amazing. It is. It's the best feeling. It's worth all the hard work, all the late nights, early morning, late nights, sitting here working on projects. There is nothing like it. There is not a sweet revenge. There is nothing like it. Try it. You will see.
I love it. And do they remember doubting you or trying to discourage you?
Everybody's going to have that. Everybody's going to have that. That comes up with a new idea. Every wife is going to discourage her husband when he says, oh, he wants to leave his 9-to-5 job and wants to start a painting business. Or you're always going to have those people that just, not that they don't believe in you, just that are scared of a change in their life. Change is scary. People just want the same thing every day, and that feels safe to them. So when his wife comes home and says she wants to open up a beauty salon and she's working as administrative assistant with a steady paycheck, and he's like, no, we need you in that office, you know. It's scary for everybody, change, but you gotta be brave and take that chance. You gotta do it. Otherwise you're just stagnant and not growing in life.
So do you know that you are a great inspiration to your children?
They give me a tough time, but every once in a while, that, you know, I'm their mother. They're never gonna, then every once in a while it slips. that
That's all that matters.
they're proud of me.
Yes.
But kids in general,
Yeah.
and they're not so generous in their compliments.
No.
Just buy me, bring me, do for me. Yeah, as long as it's just buy me. They don't even realize just that buy me, how much work goes into that, buy me. But I'm happy that I don't have to take handouts from anybody. But I don't even have who to take handouts from. But it's a much better feeling to do it all on your own.
Right. And to be in a position to help others.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the most important.
Yes.
That's the most important is not being scared of someone else taking away a project from you, because other designers, when I first started doing this, said to me, you're creating competition for yourself. You're bringing more designers out to the market. They're going to compete with you. I said, there's no such thing as competition. Everything that's meant for me is going to come to me. So I don't fear helping other people. And that's what people have to know, that just only you do good comes back. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
We've been conditioned to gatekeep for selfish reasons. And in that gatekeeping, we forget our own geniuses. So at a point where you doubt yourself or you fear competition, you're already inviting an energy that doesn't belong to you. So if you fear competition, you take your eyes off of what you're good at and you're focused on something that is not so important. It's kind of like running track and field, right? So the runner who's focused on that goal, that end zone, right, gets to it. However, somebody running and looking at everybody else, you're going to trip yourself, right? So that is what I really liken that to. Run your race. If I help you, I help you. If you decide to surpass me, that is based on your ingenuity and your genius. Maybe I can learn from you. Who knows? But to fear competition and then gatekeep or get in the way of my own success as just something that is not natural and it doesn't progress and make anybody progress in my observation. So kudos to
women
you.
Women in general fear competition. Women in general have self-doubt and they lack confidence. Most of them that I've come across. The key is to understand that there's nobody like you. You are a unique person. The world is filled with billions of people, and not one is the same.
Yeah.
So, even I have twin grandchildren, and even with twins, one likes vanilla, one likes chocolate, so there is no two people alike. You are special. You are different. You are unique. So why fear competition? You are special in your own way.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautifully said. So if somebody's listening to us and they're interested in knowing more about you, being mentored by you, how can they find you?
Yeah. So I have a website, NaomiMamiye.com, and on Instagram, Naomi Mamiye Design. They can shoot me a hello there. If they need a word of encouragement, I'm here for you.
Absolutely.
And they can find me there.
I love it. So for anybody listening, we are going to make all of that available in the show notes. So you don't have to go searching. You can just click the link and get right to her. Go and take a look. You might get inspired. And if you're in design, even if you may not know that design is for you, like Naomi said, reach out. You never know. Maybe you have the skill and you've doubted yourself. Why not? Reach out. Naomi, something I always ask my guests as we, wrap up our show. I usually ask them for one or a few golden nuggets that they'll like to leave our listeners with. So
I think the key word is believe. I think is believe. That's how you become resilient.
Yeah.
That if the topic here is resiliency, that's how you become resilient, by just believing everything will work out. Everything that's supposed to come to me will come to me. I will end up in the right job that's meant for me. The right project for me will come to me. It's just holding on to belief, staying focused, staying patient, and just believing that everything will fall into place. And it will. it will. And not getting down because you know the right thing is on its way.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. Believe.
Yeah.
Have this insane belief in yourself, and you will shock yourself. You'll surprise yourself. Only you can really change the trajectory of your life, and you can do that by believing that you can do it. Challenge yourself to do it, and believe in yourself to do it, just like Naomi said. Beautifully said. Thank you so much for being with us today. It was an absolute pleasure to get to talk to you and get to know you. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm sure somebody listening to us will have this resonate with them, because often we feel like we are the only people going through stuff, and we learn very not so in a healthy manner to be in silos. So thank you for sharing your story of resiliency. I'm inspired by it, and I'm grateful that you made time to be here today.
Sure.
Thank you. Take care of yourself, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Unshelling Medicine Podcast. If you want to stay up to date with the latest episodes, make sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to leave us a review. Follow us on social media at Altruistic Scribe on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. We share additional tips, updates, and health-related content that you won't want to miss. Have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes? Reach out to us at altruisticscribeco.com. We're always eager to hear from our listeners and tackle the health topics that matter most to you. Until next time, stay healthy and take care.